What's up, everybody? It's Marcus here. I am showing off the Unreal Engine VR mod for Palworld. Actually, the mod itself is for Unreal Engine. This is the Palworld game, and as we can see, we have my start screen. Now, the capture kind of had some issues once you inject the UEVR mod into the Palworld executable. It kind of forced a kickover, so we'll see all of a sudden I'll be loaded into my world. I did still have to do the normal connection to the multiplayer world. I am running my own dedicated server for this, so I am playing online. So the VR mod does work in online servers. That being said, I am playing in third person, which is a normal way to play the game. So there shouldn't be anything crazy that's making any major notes that a server would ping you for, other than your camera placement would cause some type of ping for the server. But other than that, you should be fine, because everything else would be normal. So keep that in mind when you know what servers you're going for. Now, I do also want to note that I am running on a 3700X CPU, Ryzen 7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, running at 3200 megahertz. And then I have an RX 580 8 gigabyte primary, and then a secondary 580 as well, but it barely gets used. As you can see, everything is running pretty well. This is the VR display now, so we can see that I'm fast traveling from one point to another. Now, in the heads-up display, you actually can see outside of the black border here. The black border here only shows what you can see in that, I guess, for the display for you guys. But as you can see from the way my head moves and stuff like that, you'll see that we're in VR. As well as from where the camera is placed as well. Now, at this point, I was trying to figure out where my body died, because during some testing I was having some issues where I had died at one point, and I died here at my base, but then you saw that we loaded up at my other base, and then I died. When I died, it pushed me under the ground. The game still is in beta, so there are some issues like that, but we'll open the map, we'll find my body, and then we'll go to that in a second. But as you can see, the game is running pretty well. There are some telescopic issues in the Quest 2 itself, but I thought you would see them. You really can't. It's some jittering whole scale, but it doesn't give the telescopic effect the way I thought it would. You don't see black edges on the screen, but you do in the Quest 2. That being said, you are still running, and as you can see, we don't have any issues with the game. At this point, this is the question where I go, this is a 580. If you go buy one brand new right now from Best Buy, Newegg, you can get one for about $100, $120. You can get a Quest 2 for about $175, $200. That's $300. That's the price of a 3060 or a 4060 brand new with some savings. It looks better in the recording than I thought it would. It really does. I did put everything to low because I was streaming it as well. I do personally play it a little bit higher, settings wise, but just because I was also having to record it and do the audio recording as well. with my audio interface. I wanted to make sure we had enough bandwidth, basically just memory, to get all that stuff done. I'll do some skipping through here on our edit. It's a tough sell. I'm not really sure because I played it for about 30-45 minutes. The recording was 20. I played it for about another 20 minutes after that. And I want a better GPU. So I would recommend getting something stronger. That being said, if you don't have the money, you can do it. Like I had a tear. I shed a tear because it was like, this is real. You know, we're really here. I want to see about getting a group together, having some group events where we can have some VR community come together and play some Palworld together and be able to run raids. They were talking about introducing PvP into Palworld eventually, so we'd be able to do battles. You know, things of that nature. Like, all those things are possible. This works. This works very well. And this works very well very cheaply already. I can't imagine what a 4060 or 4070 is doing because it must be seamless. I do understand that AMD cards seem to be the devil when it comes to VR. So we are going to go ahead and test some NVIDIA cards next. I have a 1060 that my lady uses. It was giving us some problems. So we'll look into some newer cards. Like I said, we'll look into getting a 4060 Ti, maybe a 4070, maybe a 3080 if I'm lucky. But I mean, dude, if you want to play Palworld in VR, you're there. We're there. All you need, quest link, UEVR injection. You start Palworld. You make sure to start the UE injection as administrator. You make sure that it has the PAL instance selected in the UEVR dropdown. There'll be a dropdown there. You inject. You're good for third person. There are first person and motion control options as well that are still being hammered out more and more and more to get the game fully VR compatible. That being said, I use a DualShock, so this is great. I'm gonna fiddle with my camera placement personally. You can see here there's some mount situations where the camera doesn't adjust properly, and then just aim down sights camera placement's just a little off, like things of that nature. Very small tweaks. I cannot stress how heavily I feel this is a 9 out of 10. This should be a part of the game because it works that well. This has given me less problems in actual VR programs and actual VR applications and games. I've had one crash, and that was because I was actively changing the profile of the mod while it was running. Only once. I'll make sure that we have the credits for the mod in the video and in the description, and give it a look. If you're interested in joining a Palworld VR community, comment below, and if this gets enough traction, we'll actually look into doing something about it, because it's a possibility. It's out there now. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Look into doing this, look into spending your time with your pals a little bit closer.